Neanderthals might not be the separate species we always thought, scientists find. Stooped back, heavy-browed, communicating in ape-like grunts, impressions of the Neanderthal as a simple-minded brute, a few steps below modern humans on the evolutionary ladder, have endured since their discovery in the mid-19th century. In spite of a myriad of findings detailing their genetic and cultural similarities, our long-extinct cousins, quote-unquote, are still all too often exiled into their own species, Homo neanderthalensis. That categorization is due for a change, according to the team of researchers who have spent the past 20 years digging through layers of dust and grit in the central Portuguese cave site of Gruta da Oliveira. More than different species, I would speak of different human forms, says University of Trento archaeologist Diego Angelucci, the lead author of a recent study summarizing decades of research on what was home to families of Neanderthal more than 71,000 years ago. Angelucci and his team detailed the occupation of Grota da Oliveira, which saw Neanderthals intermittently share time in the cave with wolves, lions, brown bears, and lynxes between 93,000 and 71,000 years ago. Among the scattering of stone tools and animal remains were bones that had been burned in a way that proved strong evidence of controlled use of fire. Cooking a range of meats, including goat, bear, and horses, on a hearth that rarely moved out of position, it was clear fire was a central part of everyday Neanderthal life at Gruta da Oliveira. It's no secret that branches of the hominin family tree have appreciated a good blaze for at least 250,000 years or so. For a significant proportion of that time, those flames were deliberately lit, well managed, and contained with the purpose of cooking, if not also staying warm and keeping predators at bay. Yet Neanderthals had already long diverged from our shared ancestral lineage by the time anatomically modern humans became recognizably distinct, with some speculating they went their own way more than 800,000 years ago. The initial discovery of the remains in a quarry back in 1864 represented the dawn of a new era in science, the first inkling that there were once other kinds of humans. Based on distinct differences in anatomy, the Anglo-Irish geologist William King proposed they belonged to their own species, one that stood upright like us, only with a hunched, more robust appearance. This long-dead cave-dwelling relative was assumed to be an intellectual dunce compared with modern humans when viewed through the lens of Victorian-era anthropology. As discoveries mounted and analytical tools improved, our impressions of the Neanderthal gradually shifted. Gone is the archaic stoop and animalistic grunting. Today, our primitive relatives appear to have intentionally buried their dead, made jewelry, and may have even created art. Evidence that they carefully used fire in their technology only further builds a case that Neanderthal culture was far from simple and far more akin to our own. Angelucci says there is a general agreement among archaeologists that they knew how to use fire. However, one thing is to use fire started by natural processes such as lightning, another is to make it, feed it with wood, and use it for cooking, heating, and defense. Just how they might have started fires is not yet clear, though Angelucci speculates it might not have been all that different to other Neolithic practices such as flint and tinder method used by Otzi the Iceman. Now, with genetic analysis confirming Neanderthals frequently interbred with our own ancestors multiple times through history, the case for them being a separate species weakens only further. It's unlikely we will finally see the classification of Homo neanderthalensis fade into obscurity anytime soon. Messy confuses, as conservatives, that is, taxonomy continues to be useful and fundamental in our historical understanding of biology. Still, a more sibling than cousin, it seems the poor old Neanderthal deserves to sit right by our side in the Homo sapien family portrait. This research was published on PLOS ONE, and it's on Science Alert by Mike McRae. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.